Hi guys, and welcome back to Our Life Worldwide.
And thanks for joining us. In today's video, it's a bit of a travel day, so we're going to take you through our journey to Washington D.C.
Yeah, we booked a train online before we left, and we went with Amtrak, didn't we?
We did. We
And-
decided that train would be the easiest way, didn't we? It would certainly be the quickest.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot cheaper going on the coach, but with the traffic in New York and the unreliability of them from some of the reviews we read, we decided not to bother with a coach.
Yeah, when we only had 3 days, we thought that we need something that's going to be a bit more reliable. The trains seemed to be great, they had good reviews, and it turns out that in our experience, they were.
Yeah, it was a spot-on service, to be honest, and it cost us $190 for both of us return, which we didn't think was too bad, really.
Not at all, really. If we'd booked it earlier, it would have been around about the $300 mark, but
Yeah.
we kept his eye on the pricing, and we booked about a month out, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, so not too bad at all. So we started off catching the train from the Moynihan Train Hall at Penn Station.
Yeah, so early morning and down to Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, and it was really easy to find, actually. It's all signposted up when you get there. Helpful staff guided us in the right direction. There's a lot of train lines there,
Yeah.
so we didn't really know what we had to do, but we knew that we already had our tickets, so we assumed that we'd just be getting straight on the train.
Yeah, and as soon as the gate opened, that's what we done.
Yeah, scanned us in, and that was that. It was great.
Yeah, it was a lovely train station as well, wasn't it?
Oh, it was. Plenty of places to eat, drink, sit down.
Yeah, some shops as well.
Yeah, a couple of lounges. It was a really nice experience, actually, and the train was absolutely spot on time, wasn't it?
It was down to the minute, to be honest.
Yeah, we couldn't believe it.
Like being back in Japan.
It was. We're not used to it with our English trains, are we? They kind of turn up when they do turn up, but this was absolutely spot on.
Yep.
Everybody got on the train in a, suitable, normal fashion, and there was no hustle bustle. It was just absolutely great experience, and plenty of seats, wasn't there?
Yeah, we never had book seats, but they said you just go on there and find your own seat. But luckily, no problem.
Yep, and plenty of space to store your luggage. We had 2 suitcases with us.
We did, yeah. They just went above our heads, like overhead, like on a plane, and the hand luggage we just kept with us on the seats in it.
Yeah, so I would certainly recommend using the train service, especially from the New York to Washington. It's supposed to be one of the best in America, and I can certainly see why. The seats were comfortable, plenty of space, wasn't there?
Yeah, and some nice scenery on the way.
Absolutely, yeah. And just to point out, if you do need it, there is a cafe car on board as well. Serves food and drinks, and all the normal facilities you'd expect on a train.
Yeah, it was really good.
Really great. So we arrived in Washington at
Union Station.
Yeah. And what a fabulous station that was.
Oh,
wasn't it?
yeah, lovely station, yeah.
It's always lovely to arrive in a lovely station, but again, really clean, really nice, lots of facilities there, and helpful staff guiding us out, weren't they?
Yeah, and as soon as you exit, you can see the Capitol building in the back, which was a fantastic sight, wasn't it?
Absolutely fine. We kind of felt like we'd arrived, hadn't we?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So the first thing we had to do, we were hot and bothered. It was about 34 degrees that day, so we wanted to head to our hotel.
Yeah, which was the Morrison-clark Historic Inn.
And it was beautiful.
It was fantastic. It was our best hotel of the trip.
Absolutely
by a long
was.
shot.
It was so nice. It was a pleasure to be there. The staff were lovely. The rooms were stunning. We've got some footage for you. We'll pop that in.
Yeah.
The facilities themselves were absolutely fabulous. The only one small criticism I would say is that there was no sort of tea coffee making facilities in the room, was there? But you could get yourself a free coffee in the mornings in the foyer. So there was coffee available there. You could have as many as you want.
Yeah.
But you just had to get yourself up and go down and fetch it, didn't you?
Yeah, you did, yeah. But they did give you a couple of bottles of water in the room and a couple of chocolates as well, which we weren't expecting, so that's always a bonus.
Yeah, but I feel it was a small point, and the rest of the hotel by far made up for that. It was so nice.
It was.
And it was in a good position, I thought, didn't you?
Yeah, very good actually. Yeah, to the White House, it was a roughly 15-minute walk, which I didn't think were too bad. Plenty of things to see on the way as well.
Yeah, and if we kind of went the other way, it was about 25 minutes back up to the Capitol building, wasn't it? So,
Yeah.
it was quite central, but yeah, just a really pleasant stay, I would say. We
was.
really enjoyed it there. It was a shame to leave, actually.
It was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, you always know you've had a good time when you feel like you don't want to leave there.
Yep.
So we decided to drop our bags off without really settling in. We had a quick drink, and then we decided we're going to get ourselves out, do some exploring, get some food, and see what Washington's all about.
Yeah, that's what we're best at.
Absolutely is. When in Washington, your first port of call is always going to be
The White House.
So off we went. We left the hotel, we walked down, grabbed some chips on the way actually, didn't we?
We did, yeah, we doubled in Five Guys.
Yeah, we knew we could get like copious amount of chips in there, so
Yeah.
we stocked up for a bit just to give ourselves a bit of sustenance.
Yeah.
And then off we went to the White House. And we got down to Lafayette Park, which is just outside.
Yeah, and we was hovering around there for a little bit, and we've seen, the sheer amount of police they've got around there is absolutely phenomenal, really.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever seen so many police, have we, in one place?
No.
It turned out that the whole city is like that, really. There's just absolute police everywhere. I mean, we do understand why.
Yeah.
We just didn't think there'd be that many.
No,
did we?
and so many different types of police as well,
Yeah.
for all the different areas, and it was
Yeah.
phenomenal, really.
Yeah,
and there was a
really
lot of
was.
activity going on around there, wasn't there?
There was. So we were just minding our own business, taking some photos to, and probably admiring the White House, but saying, as many people do, oh, it doesn't look quite as big as we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And there was lots of people selling flags and drinks and things outside, so it was quite a nice environment there.
Yeah.
And then, all of a sudden...
Yeah, we got kicked out of the park. Got kicked out of the park all the way
Yeah.
back to the road, didn't we?
Yeah, we were kind of surrounded by Secret Service, some on bikes, a couple
Yeah.
on scooters, and some walking, saying that the park's closing. Please leave. So everybody
Yeah.
sort of moved back as far as we could to the road.
Yeah.
Didn't we? So this kind of piqued our interest because we thought, I feel sure something is going to go on.
Yeah, and we stood around there waiting for a little while. We got,
And a little while longer.
yeah, messing about with some squirrels in the tree.
Yeah, watching
And,
some squirrels.
Then we moved round to the side, and we were quite lucky, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. We saw a presidential motorcade, didn't
Yeah,
we?
we believe it was a presidential motorcade because it was a very big one, wasn't it?
Absolutely, yeah. There was helicopters above, the road was closed. I mean, really, we were hanging around for about an hour and a half before
Before it
it came
yeah.
out. So, and I did hear some people talking on the corner. There was a bit of a group gathered at this point saying that
Yeah.
the president was coming out on his way to a fundraiser, apparently.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there was lots of cars. Like I say, the helicopter above it. It was absolutely great to see.
Yeah, there were no beast though. There were no the beast.
No, I mean, we did chuckle, didn't we? Because we asked one of the Secret Service personnel if the president always travels in the Beast.
And he said he can travel in whatever he likes. Apart from when we said, what happens if he wanted to travel on a motorbike? They said they probably wouldn't let him do that. But that's kind of understandable.
Kind of, but I feel if you're the president, you want to go on a motorbike, maybe you...
Maybe you should, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, fair enough. I mean, they were very obliging and spoke to us.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah, they certainly didn't mind. So, yeah, it was absolutely great to see on our first day in Washington, wasn't it?
Oh,
Couldn't
yeah,
believe it.
great, yeah.
And little did we know it wasn't to be our last.
No. So,
Yeah, so we hanged around there, saw all that, got plenty of footage of that, loved it. We thought we'd head on down into the National Mall.
yeah, and we wanted to go and check out the Washington Monument.
Yeah, we'll put pictures up for you. I wasn't sure what it was called, but it's the big obelisk that's on top of the hill.
Yeah.
It's one of them, isn't it? I kind of said to Carl, so we're
You
going
recognise
to see,
it,
yeah.
but not necessarily
Nobody
know the
knows what
name,
it's
yeah.
called, yeah. I kind of said, shall we go and see the big tower thing on the hill? And yeah, but it was absolutely massive, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot bigger than what I thought it was going to be, to be honest.
Yeah, and you do get a great viewpoint from up there.
But it's such a grand sight, isn't it?
Oh, it so is. And it's all surrounded by flags. I don't know whether it always is or whether that was for the
Because
build-up
it'll
to
build
4th of
up-
July.
yeah, I'm not sure. I
But
imagine so.
I could be. We loved being sat up there and seeing the views of the total mall, couldn't we? We could
Yeah.
see all the way up to...
The Capitol building,
Yeah,
and then
and
all the way
then-
down to the Lincoln Memorial, which
I mean,
was,
it was
fantastic.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic. So we were going to walk down there. We said, we're going to save that for the next day with being quite tired from the travel day, weren't we? But,
Yeah.
Yeah, we certainly managed to get plenty of walking in for the first day. But that was
Definitely,
great.
yeah.
So from here, we decided to walk up towards the Capitol building and check out all the museums along there. On our way there, we heard a bit of music going on and decided to investigate further. was the Navy, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was, the Navy, I think, yeah. And they was putting on a bit of a parade, weren't they? They was singing and dancing, and they had a bit of a flag-carrying ceremony there. And they was throwing the guns with the bayonets on the end around I'm guessing their officer.
Yeah.
It was really impressive.
Absolutely
really
amazing.
impressive.
And the music was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it?
Oh,
it was
yeah.
a full choir. And then, 3 or 4 main singers which came out and sung to the crowd. They had the children up dancing. What an absolutely fabulous thing.
It was great. I mean, just to stumble across that is just fantastic.
Yeah, so we stood there for about a good hour, really, enjoying that, because it was just spectacular to see, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then we also managed to check out the museums at the same time, so
Yeah.
we couldn't ask for more.
No, it was great.
After that, we decided to do one of our favourites, and I'm sure we've mentioned it before, the Hard Rock.
Yeah, we know there was a Hard Rock there. We always research it when we go to a city. So, yeah, we went and had a look at up there, didn't we? We had a look at the Hard Rock and the tat shop across the road as well. Yeah.
So, I mean, it was great in the Hard Rock. It had some really nice Washington-based things there. I did get a little pin badge from there, from our collection.
Yeah, a little Lincoln Memorial pin badge,
Yeah, really nice. Done in the classic style as well. That was great.
Yeah.
And then the shop opposite, oh my God, it was absolutely fantastic. It was like a full American shop.
I've never seen so much red, white and blue in my life.
Absolutely not. If you could buy it with a flag on, it was in that shop.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my God, it was great. It was absolutely great. There was anything in there from T-shirts to cups, pens, flags,
all tat.
Towels. Yeah, as Carl likes to affectionately call it, tat.
Yeah.
As I like to call it, memorabilia.
I don't mind a bit of tat. Especially we do collect a few things for our travel shelf, but
even if we just had to pick up something small from wherever we go, just to create a memory there.
Yeah, but there was just too much of it here, a bit tacky.
I loved it.
So after we were red, white and blued out from the tat shop, we decided then to head back to the hotel because it was getting a little bit late and we were a bit tired, but we decided to go the long way round and go to Chinatown first.
Yeah, we always like to find the Chinatown if there is one, and that we always find that they're lovely at night, all lit up, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And to be honest, it was a little bit underwhelming, we thought.
Yeah, definitely. It was very small. It was basically only kind of 1.5 streets, really.
Yeah, it didn't seem big like it was in New York.
No, and it did have a lovely archway across the road itself, which was the way in, which we
that was
think
nice.
was really nice. Yeah. But the actual area itself, a little bit lacklustre, really. A couple of Chinese restaurants, and a few, as Carl refers to them, as tat shops. Dotted in between.
There weren't that many though, were there?
There weren't that many. We thought there'd be lots more than that. But yeah, it was just a little bit underwhelming. So luckily it was late anyway and we were tired. So we had a stroll around there, didn't we, for a few minutes?
Yeah.
And then headed back.
Yeah. So we were up bright and early on the 3rd of July.
Ready to hit that town and check out everything on our big long list.
Yeah, and we had a big list. So first on our list was head straight down to the Capitol building.
Yeah, and it did not disappoint. It was absolutely spectacular, wasn't it?
Oh, it was absolutely enormous as well.
Yeah.
What a sight. What a sight.
I mean, it looks big on the TV, but you're never sure. But it was such a sprawling, like, metropolis there. It was absolutely gorgeous. And the decoration on the building, out of this world.
Yeah.
We loved it.
Oh, I did. We loved it. We loved it more than most of the buildings there, to be honest.
Yeah, I think it was definitely our favourite. What a great building it was. We were going to go in. You can go in for a self-guided tour.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we discovered you can't take in any food or drinks.
Yeah, and we'd had a bag full because it was our first place to visit of the day. So we had all our drinks and snacks in our bags, and the only way to get in was to dump it all, and we weren't willing to dump it, were we?
Well, we knew it was going to be a hot day, so we definitely knew we needed a drink, and we didn't want to, throw it all away and have to buy it all again.
No.
Seemed like such a waste.
Yeah.
It's a shame that we thought, I did ask the guy, I said, is there anywhere where we can leave it, and maybe, a locker or anything, but it's not a thing. He said,
No.
he said, we are open till 3, you've got plenty of time to drink it. So I thought, well, true.
Yeah.
But we did say
we had too much to do, didn't we? Really?
We did, and we did say that if we were back at this end of town, nearer the end of the day, and we haven't got any drinks left, then we'll call in. But because we were working our way down, it didn't happen, did it? But
No.
I don't feel you needed to go in. It was just so nice to enjoy it there.
Yeah.
The front was gorgeous, and then we made our way around the back to have a look at the gardens.
Yeah.
And
we had a bit of a surprise, didn't we?
Yeah, we were treated, weren't we, too?
Yeah,
And in
Sister
front to
Sledge.
concert, yes,
Yeah.
with Sister Sledge.
Sister Sledge were practicing for the 4th of July celebrations, weren't they?
They were, and they were absolutely fantastic. And
Yeah.
I says, blimey, this takes me back for sure. But yeah, they were absolutely great. So we were doing a bit of
Bit of singing
impromptu
along.
dancing and singing,
Yeah.
weren't
And then we got kicked out of the park. The Capitol Police
we? It
came
seems
down.
like a common occurrence.
It
I think,
does,
doesn't it?
yeah. So the Capitol Police came down the steps, about an army of them, weren't there? And they just kicked everybody out of the park. So I'm guessing something important was happening. So
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
some people
off we
were
went.
arriving maybe, or some kind of different kind of practicing was going on that we didn't want to see. So
Yeah.
never mind. So off we went again, but we managed to get a bit of view of that, which was really nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, so everybody just made the way out.
yeah,
But luckily, we were making our way out in the direction that we wanted to go, weren't we?
we were, yeah. So we then headed down the mall, didn't we?
Yeah. I
So-
believe it's Constitution Avenue that leads
Yeah.
from there, isn't it?
Yeah.
We wanted to go to the National Archives next.
Yeah, so we wanted to go and see the Declaration of Independence and the Bill of Rights and
The Constitution.
the Constitution of the United States. Yeah,
Yeah,
so
and
we were
that's what we
successful.
did. It was
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic. It's one big room inside the National Archives.
Yeah, all dimly lit.
Yeah, and we didn't have to queue to get in, did we? It was
No, it was fine straight through. Yeah,
straight through. I mean, it was quite early still at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could go straight through. Photos are allowed, but no flash. But the room is very dark, so
yeah,
everything's very well protected. The actual documents themselves are in glass cases.
yeah.
But there's lots of information about each document, isn't there?
There is. Yeah, it was a really interesting thing, wasn't it? Really, to be
Absolutely,
honest?
really interesting. Even for little information about the paper it was written onto, the ink that was used,
Yeah,
and all the reasoning behind it. It was absolutely great,
it was.
and it really kind of sort of whet our appetite, didn't it, for the whole rest of the visit? Really.
Yeah, it was such a great thing. Just these kind of things are the kind of documents you hear about all your life in films and obviously the American history in general. It's just such a iconic thing to see.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of a spine-tingling moment actually to see it for yourself, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
And it had a lovely shop in there.
Yeah, and in the shop had a lovely National Treasure poster that you could buy.
Oh, Nicolas Cage at his finest.
stealing the Declaration and all that.
But we were surprised that they didn't have some T-shirts or something with that on. I
Yeah,
think we'd have loved that,
yeah,
wouldn't we? But
yeah.
yeah, it was nice to see a reference to that. Made us smile. But the shop was lovely. You could have actually bought anything
Yeah.
from there. Lovely T-shirts to lovely statues and actual copies of the documents themselves, weren't they?
Yeah,
So
it was really good.
It was really, really nice. So we enjoyed it in there, and then decided to move across the road to the American Natural History Museum.
Yeah. 'Cause, I mean, it's a bit confusing what's what, isn't it? Because they're all Smithsonian. And
Yeah.
they've got the Museum of Natural History and then the Museum of American History and many more.
Oh, there's about 12 museums, I think, isn't
Oh,
there?
there's
I
loads.
I think you need a full week there if you wanted to fully go around each one.
Yeah, I mean, we done just, quick visits of each, didn't we, really?
Yeah, I
Because
mean,
we was on such a tight schedule.
We were, and we did know what we wanted to see, didn't we? So we made
Yeah.
sure that we knew what we wanted to see, and then made it our goal in each museum that we went in.
Yeah.
So we're in the Natural History now. Again, free entrance.
Yep.
Very easy to get into.
Yep. No queues, really,
No
were there?
queue, it
Just the
was great.
security to get through.
Yeah, and yeah, it felt quite busy in there, didn't it? But
It did, yeah.
there was no queue. I suppose it's so big, crowds disperse.
Yeah.
But it was a lovely museum.
Oh, it was
Absolutely.
fantastic, yeah.
Yeah, there's everything in there from dinosaurs to natural history to space.
Yeah.
One of the big things that was on our list was the Hope Diamond.
Yeah, and loads of other jewels that were in there.
Oh God, there were some beautiful jewels, weren't there?
Yeah.
But yeah, the Hope Diamond was one that I wanted to see, and that didn't disappoint. It was in a beautiful cabinet. It was turning so that it caught the light and everybody
yeah.
could see it.
Yeah. It was
So,
definitely
yeah.
a draw, though, wasn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, there was a bit of a queue to see that, but it was worth the wait, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah, really nice. And then we always love the dinosaur section, don't
Oh, yeah. How can you not?
we? We love a dinosaur. So yeah, we had a good look around there. very interesting again.
Yep.
And space, that's kind of one of our favourites. So
Yep.
we headed to that hall, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
But again, you could actually be in that museum, I think, for the full day.
Oh, easily. Probably even a couple of days, really.
Yeah.
If you wanted to see everything and read lots of the information that was
and
available.
there's lots of interactive things, isn't there, for children or families to get involved with.
Oh, yeah.
So many interactive displays, and everything's just set out so nicely. You know, super well maintained. Everything was clean. It was just great, a great experience. We loved it in there.
It was. It was such a good museum.
It was. So where do we head next?
That would be the American History Museum, wouldn't
American History Museum.
it? Yeah.
Now this was on our list because we wanted to see the original Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah, so that was a number one thing to go and see in there. And you weren't supposed to take photos, so unfortunately, no photos.
No, I mean it is it's in a dimly lit room and behind glass.
Yeah.
It's in a pressure seal cabinet, isn't it now? Apparently it was starting to deteriorate. But it is absolutely enormous.
A lot bigger than what I thought. I thought it was just going to be like a normal size
Well, we
flag.
kind of imagined a little flag, on a stick, but it was definitely not that. It was absolutely
huge,
massive.
yeah.
And it was great to read the history of that.
It was.
yeah,
Such an impressive thing.
It really, really was. I mean, and apparently it used to be hung in the museum, just out in the open, just hung from its two top corners straight down like that.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, but apparently it was starting to deteriorate in the oxygen, so it was put in a pressure seal cabinet.
Yeah.
But it's still the most impressive thing to see, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. It was such a fantastic thing. Yeah, so great.
Yeah, this was a good museum though, wasn't it? It had a motor section, didn't it? And
Oh, yeah. All the history of all the different transports. It had all the history of American trains, cars, pretty much everything like that. And also popular culture as well.
yeah, and also about the presidents, wasn't it? The history of the American presidents,
Yeah.
right far back. Certain, special sections. There was sections on, presidents with attempted assassinations.
Yep.
A sad section on presidents where assassination attempts had been successful.
Yeah, they even had Abraham Lincoln's top hat that he was wearing when he was actually assassinated.
That was a real surprise, wasn't it? We couldn't
Yeah,
believe he had that. It was kind of like one of those shock moments, actually. You're like, look at that hat,
Yeah.
So yeah, it was great. So we were in there for a fair while, actually. We didn't
Yeah, we were.
think it'd be quite as big as that.
No.
But yeah, again, easily a day in there.
Oh,
If you
definitely.
wanted to look at everything.
Yeah.
There's cafes in there. We went by a children's play area. It was great.
It was.
Yeah, it was really great.
I mean, the museums in Washington, they're just second to none, really.
They are. Yeah, and I can't believe that they're all free.
Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of London, with the Natural History and the Science Museum and all down this sort of like museum street in London. It does have that feel about it, for sure.
Yeah. The only one we didn't manage to get into was the Air and Space Museum. You did need tickets for that, but they were available just on the morning, wasn't they? And when we found that out, it was too late. We never had the opportunity to do it. So,
and then we knew that the next day would be sort of in a different part of Washington. So unfortunately, we had to miss out on that one.
Yeah.
But we enjoyed what we saw, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. So after we finished at the museums, we then headed down towards the Lincoln Memorial. Then, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. So it was a bit of a long walk from here.
It was, especially in that heat. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so hot. And it was all hampered a little bit by the fact that it was the 4th of July.
Yeah, so they had
build-up.
lots of fences around because they had lots of security around ready for the 4th. So there was only so many entrances you could go in and out of the mall. So it did make things a little bit long-winded, didn't it?
Yeah, you see, normally you can just kind of, wander in from one area to the next and there's no barriers. But this time, lots of fencing, so you had to go all the way round to get in at certain access points. You were then scanned by security. But once you were in, it wasn't too bad manoeuvring around.
No.
It was just long-winded in actually getting in and getting out. But, we managed it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
And so we headed down to the Lincoln Memorial, and there's a giant war memorial just on the way there. We didn't even realise.
Yeah, the first one you come to from the Washington Monument is the World War II Memorial. You got the Pacific Coast section and the Atlantic section as well.
Yeah.
And had all the different states where obviously people had come from that had perished in the war. And it was such a nice, tranquil place, really.
Really impressive as well, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
It was absolutely lovely.
It was.
It's so big, and it was just, yeah, like I say, very tranquil. Certainly a place for reflection.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a surprise to see it because we just didn't really know, did we?
Yeah, I mean, in the films and that, you kind of think that you've got the Washington Memorial with the stretch of water and then the Lincoln Memorial at the other end. But
yeah, kind of right there.
It's kind of a little bit offset from how you think it's going to be.
And there's also quite a long walk, isn't there, across the grass to get to there.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not kind of just next door like that.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, we were surprised at that.
Yeah.
So we headed on down past the War Memorial and still heading towards Lincoln.
Yeah.
And we came across the
Korean War Memorial. Then,
now,
yeah.
That was very impressive, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. There was statues of soldiers, weren't there?
Yeah, and they were made to look as if they were, coming through fields, like walking through fields in rain, weren't they? They had raincoats on, and everyone was different. And I'd say they were either full size or maybe just a little bit
bigger.
larger.
Yeah, there was larger than, about 1.5 times size, maybe even a bit bigger. They were really, really quite an impressive sight, to be honest.
Absolutely. And then all the names of casualties and fatalities are all along the back.
Yeah.
And then these are in front. So they're setting the scene, and it's one of those memorials where it hits
really,
you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does, yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, wow, this is absolutely amazing. So, I mean, so that was like another thing that we didn't know.
Yeah, yeah.
We didn't even know was
Washington full of surprises, really.
Absolutely. And then so we headed on, didn't we? Carried on.
So we ended up going to Lincoln Memorial, which was under construction. From the look of it, it looks like they're including some extra bits. I think they're having a museum under there, and maybe a gift shop. So there was...
Yeah, it looks like it's going to go sort of underground, doesn't it?
Under the actual statue. So it's nice to see that they're doing things like that. The statue itself was absolutely amazing. I mean, when you got up there through the works, it was just...
Yeah, I mean, the construction is not affect...
It doesn't affect going to view the actual statue. No, it's just the building on the outside that's affected by it.
And it just affects your, the entrance in. So,
yeah.
Yeah, we got up there and it really blew our mind, actually.
Oh, it was fantastic, yeah. It was something that you see on films again, and just having the view of it, it's just great. I mean, it's bigger than what you expect.
Yeah. So impressive when you walk in. We loved reading inscriptions on the
a couple of his speeches, wasn't there? Yeah,
some of the famous speeches that he's made, which was really great to read.
You could it just felt like you could just stay there for ages.
Yeah,
just
it was such a nice place.
Yeah, it was really nice.
Yeah, it's so I don't know. It's hard to put into words. We were just like in awe of it, really. Weren't we, I think.
Yeah. It was so great. It was probably one of my favourite places in Washington overall, to be honest.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people were the same as us because there was a lot of people that were sat, just taking it all in.
Yeah.
There were some benches around the edge that you can sit on. Hard marble benches, but fine just to take a bit of a rest and soak in the atmosphere, really. And then same outside. We sat outside for a bit, didn't we?
Yeah,
on
we
the
did. Yeah, just trying to recover a bit, I think. Yeah,
trying to from the heat. And then also, just halfway down the stairs, there's a nice little memorial for Martin Luther King, isn't there?
Yeah, a little marker on the floor, isn't there? Yeah.
Yeah, so that was nice. So people were sat around there as well, reflecting on that, I think. But yeah, what place? What place it was. Really, really nice. And I would certainly get it on anybody's list who's coming to Washington.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
A must visit. I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to do with it, really. I think.
Yeah, it'd be nice to go back in a few years when it's all finished. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a museum would be a great addition.
Yeah.
Because everybody's interested in Lincoln. It's just so famous. Isn't
it? Yeah, without doubt.
So yeah, I'll certainly be interested on that. So we sat there, took in the lovely view. You've got the water in front of us. Try and stop melting for a short while, have a drink before hitting the road again, eh?
Yeah.
Well. So after that, we decided we're going to head back up the mall towards the White House because we wanted to go to the visitor centre, didn't we? Yeah,
it was due to close in probably about an hour's time from where we were, so we thought we'd better rush up to there and get in there and see that. And to be honest, we just made it in time. They were just shutting the lights off while we were in there, so
Yeah.
we had a good look round.
We had about 20 minutes in there, didn't we? But really, that was enough, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I mean, again, it was free to get in.
Yeah.
And it gives you the full history of the White House.
Yeah, and lots of things to see, weren't there?
so
Lots of different bits and bobs that have been used. Things like Queen Elizabeth II's dinner plates and things like that. They were all on display.
Yeah, lots of information about state visits, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And also lots of information about how each president and his family had altered the White House as they moved in. You know, so some had like built an extra part on there or an extra wing. The decoration of it was all explained.
Yeah.
Things in the garden that certain presidents had planted and stuff like that. So yeah, it was really, really interesting, wasn't it?
It was really great. Just the amount of things you could see. There was chairs that famous people had sat on. The old flag topper that had been on there and they didn't even actually know how old it was. They're just really guessing, but just had things like that on display there. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was nice. And then they had a great little shop there where you could buy replicas of the sort of plates and cutlery and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then they also had some, normal kind of memorabilia, some Christmas decorations, books.
Yeah, they had the White House yearly Christmas decoration in there as well.
So. I mean, we've seen those before, haven't we?
We have, I've heard of them,
America shops.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and it was from there that we actually got Tiger his water bowl.
Yeah, we got him a Washington D.C. White House water bowl, didn't we?
Yeah, he deserves it.
He does, yeah.
So that was great. So we weren't in there very long because it was closing, but it was more than enough time for us to have a whip round and see everything.
Yeah.
And then when we came out of there, we decided that it was definitely time for some food.
Yeah, but then we got caught up again. Another motorcade. So
we decided to hang around again, as you do.
We decided to hang around, stood by the side of the road. They didn't kick anybody out of the park this time, so we thought, maybe it wasn't anybody quite as important. So
it was somebody coming in this time, wasn't it?
So we hung around, and so the motorcade came by, and
I mean, it was still an impressive sight, but just not quite as
not quite as big as the other one. And we wondered who it was, didn't we? But it turned out it was the Vice President. So
so we said we're doing well. We've seen the Vice President and the President.
Yeah, the reason why we know it was the Vice President, well, hopefully it was Vice President, is because there was a press guy there, wasn't there? And he had one of the big cameras, and he turned around to me and says, "Yeah, that was the Vice President." So we was like, "Oh, that's
they will take that."
Great, yeah.
So we got our own photo of that.
Yeah, it was such a novelty thing, wasn't it? When they shut all the roads off, just take full control of the street and
I mean, we're not sure whether this is such a regular occurrence normally, or whether it was just basically because of the 4th of July. I mean, there was so much movement going on.
There was,
police everywhere. Obviously the President is in town for the 4th of July and things like that. So whether, on a different day, different time, it would have been a very much different affair. I don't know.
I'd imagine so,
We certainly enjoyed seeing it at its finest, didn't we?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, so that was great. So that put us back again. We were still starving by this point, so we definitely had to go and get some food by now.
Yeah, we thought go and get some food and then go back to the hotel with that.
Yeah, we spent the day walking really, and in all that heat, we were absolutely worn out.
Yeah, we were.
So I think we got some food, went back to the hotel, and passed out basically.
Yeah. So that was.
What a day!
That was our second day in Washington, first full day.
Yeah.
And we felt like we'd got
most of it
so
done,
much
really,
done,
didn't
yeah.
we? Yeah, well, we were so surprised how we weren't sure how close together the things would be, or whether we'd have to be sort of travelling on metro or anything like that. But everything's pretty much in one area,
walkable.
isn't it?
If you're able to walk decent amounts, then it's certainly walkable. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Can be tiring because the museums themselves are big.
Yeah.
And as we mentioned earlier, the sort of statues and things in between the National Mall are further away than you think.
Yeah.
But it is certainly a walkable city.
Yeah.
I would just prefer it to be maybe 10 degrees less.
Yeah, it would have been better if it was a little bit cooler. Yeah, it was really draining, wasn't it?
Very hot, yeah. It sort of zaps all the energy out of you, but we can safely say what a fantastic day.
Oh, 100%. We got really 95% of everything we wanted doing.
Yeah.
Done on them 2 days.
And we absolutely loved it, didn't we?
We did, yeah.
So, I'd just like to say that's going to bring our second day to the close. So we'd like to thank you for watching.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on our trip around DC. And why not tune into our next video where we're going to be going to Arlington Cemetery and celebrating the 4th of July.
Yeah, hopefully there'll be plenty of fireworks to see. And please don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps our channel grow.
Yeah, thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.